Good afternoon everyone, Connor from Zenfinex here and welcome back to the July monthly forecast videos. For today's video I'm going to cover the Nasdaq 100 index, and to do this I'm going to touch on what was said in the FOMC meeting minutes last night, along with other fundamentals which are going to act as the catalyst for price to move. After that I'm going to move on to the chart and give a balanced technical analysis forecast using my price action strategy and a variety of other indicators. So what have been the drivers in the market at the moment? So FANG is an acronym referring to stocks of the 5 most popular and best performing American technology firms which we see in the Nasdaq: Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix and Alphabet, which is formerly known as Google. Now last Friday was the biggest volume day in FANG options that we have seen for many months, and the size of Apple buying right now really is off the charts. But I do not feel like this is sustainable, and the reason I say this is because as a whole the rally in the Nasdaq at the moment has been led with very little volatility, which is always a recipe for the market to turn over once volatility picks up. Now in the FOMC meeting minutes on Wednesday, the Fed showed that they are ready to taper earlier than anticipated. Now the implications this has on price throughout July could be significant in my opinion. Now US 10-year yields have slumped recently to around 1.33%, and there's a general feel that this has now run its course. Therefore, this makes equities really vulnerable at the moment to the downside. When you look around globally as well, you have the Hong Kong Hang Seng, which is turning to the downside. You have the MSCI emerging markets looking vulnerable as well. And this could spill, and it does normally spill into US equities like the Nasdaq after as well. Now, this sort of environment, which I've explained above, really is the catalyst for equities to fall. Remember, we want to see US yields form a base at the lows they are at the moment. As a result, the Nasdaq 100 is very vulnerable to a downside shock. So there is that real general rule where you never bet against America. And I'm not doing this on a long-term scale, but there is definitely a short-term play, I think, coming in at the moment to the downside. And I've just got the daily chart here at the moment, and I'm adding our indicators as well. So adding our 250 and 100-day moving averages, which we're trading considerably away from at the moment. And previously, when we've been trading away from these moving averages, I mean, we do get a move back towards them, which is point number one. Point number two, have a look at this. I've got the volume indicator here. Have a look at this rally from, when was it? From early June, where we've led up to around where we are now, around nearly 15,000. Very close to 15,000. Look at the volume. So this just shows the real lack of volatility at the moment, and how this rally really hasn't been led off anything other than really small amounts of volume, really thin liquidity in the markets at the moment, which is always a recipe for equities to go higher. I think this changes. Already we can see this big volume in this candle, this daily candle on the 8th of July, so on yesterday. And I think that if we get our US yields that are going to start forming a base, I think that this is going to be maybe a sign of stress. Have a look at the RSI indicator as well. We were in overbought territory. Can we start to now tick to the downside? I really do think we can. I think we're going to make a move towards this 50-day moving average. Hi guys, thank you for listening to this video. Just really quickly wanted to touch on a really exciting offer we have on the website. It's a limited time offer, and if you head over to zenfinex.co.uk, you will see the offer in front of you straight away. And this is that you can trade Forex on a standard account with raw spread plus 0 commission. And now Zenfinex is also an FCA and no dealing desk execution broker. If you are interested in this offer, you can get in touch with the team by clicking learn more, or you can simply go to open an account where you can start the application process. Where could I see this fall into? Well, I've read a few things online, people who also have this opinion as well. And when the thing is with the Nasdaq, when it does drop, the drops are really volatile and they're quite strong, as you can see. So there's no reason really why, if you could hold out long enough, we may get a test of 14,000. Would probably be my longest take profit that I'd have in any sales. Initially, though, I would be looking at 15,500. maybe somewhere in between, and maybe taking profits along the way. So if I can now go onto the 4-hour chart, because it's hard to pick a sell on the daily time frame at the moment unless you just wanted to sell now and have your stop loss just above, maybe at around 15,000. Let's see what that would return for any trades. If we wanted to stop loss at around 15,000, take profit number 1 is not even a 1-hour trade. Take profit number 2, around 1.7, and then about 2.86, which is, or nearly 3, which is quite a lot. Considering it's got to drop all the way to 14,000, it's not the best trade in my opinion. Anyway, let's have a look on the 4-hour chart, because I noticed something quite significant. And I'm going to get rid of all the indicators now. Don't need them. So we've got a nice clean chart at the moment. We've got our take profits on the daily chart. Now, what I've noticed on the 4-hour is the first sign that the markets are starting to turn to the downside from this drop that we had here. Yes, it's run into this 4-hour order block and it's actually now springing up, and we may get a run up to the recent all-time highs. But this level here for me, I'm going to mark that as, you probably guessed it, our 4-hour order block. I do have a price alert in here as well. I'm looking for something that looks a little bit like this to form a new lower low. If that does happen, remember that trade I pointed out to you a minute ago where it wasn't even a 1-hour trade for that first take profit? Well, now look, already we're up at around a 6.6-hour trade if you just sold it from this 4-hour order block. The reason I like this level and not this candle here is I don't think it really has any reason to go up here. There's no real price inefficiency there, whereas you can see the drop that we had here, there is a bit. And this level didn't really break any structures, whereas if you look at this candle, this is where we had the impulsive move to the downside. And if you see this market structure low here, which is a fractal low, it was broken. Let's move that up a bit. It was actually broken. So the first sign of stress in the markets that we have here. Now, if US yields continue to fall, which I don't think is going to happen because I don't think the Fed are happy with it, then we may get a run up and we may print all new time highs at around 15,000. But for me, 15,000, I am expecting more of a drop from there, to be honest. I can't see it going any further just yet. Not betting against America in the long term. This is really a short-term play for the rest of July. So, if we then aimed for the ones below are at 12R and then all the way down to 14,000 is a trade of the year opportunity down at 18R risk reward. Any 1% risk, 18% gain, which I think is great. I'm just going to touch on the 1-hour chart now to see where price could head. So I've got that 4-hour order block entry. I've kept the level. But if you actually look, there isn't really much reason for price to go any further than this level here now. And what we're doing is refining our levels, which probably has an even smaller take profit level, which is great, but really just gives us a nicer entry than we had previously. Around a 7.3R trade, I think it was 6.8 before. So that's really what I'm seeing for the Nasdaq at the moment, guys. I've identified some key selling opportunities. Remember about the fundamentals, because I really think this is the most important thing around the US yield. We really want to see a base being formed in the US yields, and we want to continue. We haven't had that full sign of stress in the Nasdaq yet, so it's about being patient. But if we can catch a sell and the volatility starts picking up in the markets, then I do think the drop is going to be quite significant. Thank you all for listening to this video, guys. If you could please like and subscribe to this channel, that would really help boost the channel. It's continuing to do so as well. And drop any comments in on the comment section. Happy to hear everyone else's opinion and what they think on US equities at the moment, because I can imagine some people are, if you have been buying the market, then brilliant, because it's been just running up without really stopping, really. That's it for today, guys. I'll catch you all for the next video, which is next week, and hope everyone has a great weekend.